Bam! We're live. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing in the chat? Make sure to like and comment, all that good stuff. We're at Foxboro practice. I had some serious FOMO right now. You guys, we have Justin and Snacks. They were at in Foxboro today. They'll be there again tomorrow at Giants and Patriots joint practices. So they're going to give you all the stuff on that. We're going to talk a little about Adoree Jackson. We're going to hit on everything. Justin, how was practice?
Hey, Bobby Skinner. Nice to see you. Hi, Snacks.
What's up?
It's kind of nice to see you. Well, Snacks and I have spent too much time with each other recently. Practice was really, really good. Just like on a real note, and I'll probably repeat this a few times as more people kind of get in here, and people are always coming in and out on these live streams. It was really cool to see the environment and the atmosphere of practice, because if you look at the the videos and the pictures that we have on our socials pages, you see that we were close. Typically in Quest Diagnostics at MetLife Stadium, there's a fence. There's a fence that's separating you from the Giants and the practice. And then also you have the awning, which would have been nice today. It was hot as hell today. It was hot as all hell.
I'm dying.
Snacks is
Yeah, did you guys wear sunscreen? You don't look like you got any sun at all.
Well, we wore a lot of sunscreen, Bobby.
SPF 50.
Look at these skin tones. If we were sitting in the sun too long, we're dead men.
Well, you also look extra pink than usual on your face.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. A little
I
bit.
could use a little color.
You could use a little, but I mean, not pink. But it was really cool. Typically, so Quest Diagnostics, they have that awning that's above you. So all of the sound that circulates is from the fans that are having a conversation. But there was not a lot of people here, and you were so close that we were able to hear the coaching staff engage with the players. And that was probably the coolest part about practice, where you heard Judge, and we'll go backwards to forward. You heard Judge as soon as the practice ended, on the hill. Maybe it was just what they usually do for conditioning, or they had a bad practice and Joe Judge ran them. So on the hill, and that was really cool. Then you heard Leonard Williams, as soon as Joe Judge said on the hill, he's like, "Oh, I knew it," or something like that.
Yeah,
all the players were joking with each other.
Joking around. They knew it was coming. That was easily my favorite part, is being able to hear the sounds and emotions of not only the coaches, but the players too. Like, some were getting frustrated, and we'll talk about the actual practice itself. But Rob Sale, when they first started team drills, they looked very lackadaisical, very messy and whatnot. And he's ripping into him.
Yeah.
F-bomb
really?
after F-bomb. Yeah,
okay.
man.
I see, because Rob Sale doesn't really seem like that type of guy.
No,
I think it was Rob Sale, because he was talking to a lot of the linemen.
Had to have been Rob Sale.
Was he bald?
It was
he
the
a white
lineman.
bald guy with the
O-line?
Yes.
And
that's Rob Sale, yeah.
He's screaming at him, goes, "You break that in huddle, you run to the line." He was going nuts on him. It was very cool. Great seat change, by the way, by you. Because we were at the other side, and we started off with the D-backs and the linebackers, and then we moved over to see the offensive line and the skill guys. And it worked out perfectly, because we got to see the whole team on team. So really just a great atmosphere. They set it up really nice. They had MCs and everything. Very cool. And by the way, I hate saying it, Gillette Stadium is beautiful.
Yeah,
just looking at it is gorgeous.
We weren't technically allowed to take video. I didn't take a lot of videos. But what are you going to do?
They said you're not allowed. Don't obey those rules.
It doesn't matter. You could go like this. How is he going to know? Yeah, buddy, I'm taking a picture. Don't worry.
What I did is I acted like I was pressing on my thumb, but also, so a credit to, a shameless plug on why you should follow us, for tomorrow as well. The beat reporters, they had a media tent, and they did not leave that media tent. They did not come on the sideline. So really, the fans have a better view, because they were on that near field. Yeah. The fans had a better view of the practice today, where the offensive line was working towards the back end of the main field, and the DBs were kind of working towards the media members. So that's when I picked up, and we moved shop. And a lot of what they did today was a lot of the team drills, obviously, but also 2-minute drills and red zone stuff. It wasn't really just a full-out scrimmage of going down the field. Anytime that they were kind of going in the middle of the field, it was in 2-minute situations. So I thought that was pretty cool to see too.
Let's talk about Adoree Jackson, and then we can get more to practice stuff, because that is what's on everyone's mind right now.
Yeah.
Sprained his ankle. So they don't know if, we don't know if it's a high ankle sprain or not. A regular sprained ankle, you can be back within a week or so. Obviously, they'll be back. A high ankle sprain can be 3 weeks, a month, maybe. Did any panic set into you when you saw that news? Because honestly, I didn't have any panic once I saw that.
It's funny. Personally, I panicked right away, because on the play, he got burnt by Jacoby Myers, and they both came up gimp. Like it was, it was a great play by Myers, and then Jackson's on the ground. We're like, oh my gosh, here we go. And then he got up, he stood by the trainers in the back a little bit, and then he walked like past us. He had a very small limp. It wasn't bad.
So here's kind of like the timeline of how that Jackson thing went unfolded. So it's him and Darnay Holmes get beat, and it's a big passing play that winds up on the 1 yard line. Giants overall did not have a great practice day, but I'm not, you don't take a lot of stock from it. They had a bad day in Cleveland day 1, and then day 2, Snacks is Snacks, you're giving me a face. And then day 2, they bounced back and had a better practice last week. But Adoree Jackson, he first grabbed it. I thought he grabbed his shin, but it obviously was an ankle. Then he kind of limps off behind the end zone, kind of behind where Dave Gettleman was standing. At one point, Dave Gettleman went up to Adoree Jackson because even he took off his shoe, and then Dave kind of left, and Adoree actually walked back to the bench. He was limping, but it was a solid walk back to the bench and to the sideline.
It was.
Now, that makes me feel good because I actually had a grade 1 earlier this year, and it sounds like the exact same stuff you guys are describing, where it's like the first 5 minutes I could walk on it. You got the adrenaline going. And then after like 10 minutes, you got a little limp. And then like 30 minutes later, it's like, I can't walk on this thing for a couple of days. It's swollen bad. And then like a week later, you're good to go.
I thought that was a good sign that he wasn't completely like limping bad. And that makes
me a little limp, gingerly limp.
No, a ginger limp. But if he, that's a high ankle sprain, that almost feels like a broken ankle. So I don't think he would have been doing much walking, let alone like 75 yards around the practice field all the way like that. So, obviously he got carted off, I guess, 35 minutes after it happened.
But he
like you said, Bobby, the swelling probably came up.
He obviously didn't go back in, and that's why he got carted off.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. Okay.
So.
Yeah. So, it does. I don't think even if he does miss a couple games, I'm not panicked. It sucks big time because it does change what Pat Graham wants to do. But if, you can go back into his handy dandy notebook of like, okay, we're going to play this bend don't break defense. And we saw it be successful. We're maybe not facing the best QBs to start the season anyways, with Teddy Bridgewater announced for Denver, those guys aren't going to try and press you a ton anyway. You got Teddy Bridgewater, Fitzpatrick, and then Matt Ryan's the best of the group. So,
right. So a note that we need to have for tomorrow is cornerback depth and Josh Jackson out there.
What's the deal with Josh Jackson? They traded for him and he hasn't practiced one time. That's what that worries me more than it does Adoree, honestly.
Yeah, so I guess maybe we'll try to ask some of our friends that we have, and maybe we'll get some information on that.
We might be hanging with a friend tonight.
We will be possibly hanging with the friend tonight. So yeah, we'll find out about Josh Jackson. We'll check out the cornerback depth and who's going to be rolling out there with what team and whatnot. Now that Adoree Jackson is obviously not going to be practicing. So.
No, so and that's really obviously the worst news of the day. But do you quickly want to read off some positives on an overall kind of lousy day? And I think getting to watch the individual drills with the offensive lineman and D lineman for the Patriots. Will Hernandez and Andrew Thomas looked awesome.
Yes.
All day, like in their individual drills and then team. They look really, really good.
Yeah. Which is good because one-on-ones are built for the defense too, which makes it really good.
Yep. That's Justin was saying the exact same thing. Because me, I'm a paranoid person. So every time somebody gets beat, I throw my hand up. But with those two, every single time they were dominating. And Will Hernandez dominated. I don't know who it was on the Patriots. Dominated him, threw him to the ground. Got up and like the guy got in Will Hernandez's face and there was a little scram. So that was good, but I thought that's a great positive because obviously that's a huge question mark offensive line. So to see two important players, one of which being the most important one, look phenomenal against a Bill Belichick led defensive line is, I think, a good sign.
Yeah. Not really any big notes on backup offensive linemen. I didn't really learn anything new. I'm still getting Jackson Barton and Jake Burton confused with each other. We're mostly, but
Jay Burton and Jay Barton.
The common theme
and they both wear
guys,
like 72 and 70.
The common theme of those guys, though, is that they didn't really they had mostly bad reps.
They were terrible.
Nothing. So there you go. That's Snacks' perspective. Nothing that's going to make me go, wow, that was a really good rep at least,
or any confidence that they.
Here's how you remember
he gets hurt.
Here's how you remember Jake Burton. He wears number 70, and it's a disgrace that he's wearing Kevin Zeitler's number.
Yeah,
that's how I remember.
I will say.
So it was 70. That's
70,
Burton.
70 Burton.
He's horrible. He was the one UDFA. I was like, I don't like this guy at all.
I kept asking Justin who he did not have any good reps.
He had some good reps.
No, he did not. I kept asking you who number 70 was, and you're like, I can't remember if it's Burton or Burton. I'm like, well, that guy stinks.
Matt Parrott had his first rep in the individual stuff was bad, but he actually recovered nicely.
He did.
I didn't watch him as intently as Thomas and Hernandez, because Thomas and Hernandez actually stood out. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy to say as an offensive lineman. But when the rest of the pocket is kind of back, those guys are holding strong with their guys. And that was like the entire practice. So those guys were, at least for the Giants, the best players on the football team for that first team. Also significant about the offensive line, Bobby. This was really, really significant. Nate Solder was out there.
Yeah.
Nate Solder was out there.
He got some reps at left tackle. Yep. And team. And
11 on 11.
With the ones. So that was we were shocked.
Yeah, and he was left tackle with the second may have been second team, but also first team. Whenever Andrew, because they've been doing this thing throughout the whole camp of Andrew Thomas gets off the field for a few reps.
Yes, and
that's not a big deal. That doesn't mean that there's a left tackle competition.
I'm glad that they're letting Solder play left, because it seems like they're letting him settle into the backup swing role. Where I think in the beginning of camp it was like we're letting him battle with Parrott, so all his reps are going to be right tackle.
Yeah, and honestly, he didn't look bad. I give him credit. Very limited, but
he held his own.
He held his own. When we saw him go out there, that's who we were watching, and he was fine. Yep. He was absolutely fine.
Yep. All right, so that's the line. Anything?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, Ted Larson and Kenny Wiggins kind of just
goodbye.
Ted Larson.
They're so slow, man. I haven't seen an offense. The Giants' offensive line has been really bad lately. I haven't seen someone play reps for the Giants that was just as slow as those two guys. It's bad.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So other positive thing, Kyle Rudolph was back and practicing he was actually practicing in 11-on-11 live drills.
Yep.
Talk about it.
Well, I don't think
why is Justin legs showing so much? We could see almost right up in there. Like we could see your boxers when you did that.
Nice.
He's proud of himself. So what? But Rudolph didn't. Yeah, Manscaped. There you go. Great plug.
Didn't see any hair, so yeah, Manscaped. Shout out.
Yeah, Manscaped got him good. Rudolph didn't play. He didn't have too many snaps in the team. Caden Smith got a lot, but
it was as the practice went on that Caden Smith was taking the majority of the tight end one reps with the team. And then it was Ingram and Rudolph that were splitting it relatively 50-50. Or, I don't want to say 50-50.
No, it was more Ingram than Rudolph.
But they were splitting it. And
they were splitting it, yeah.
Rudolph got out there and he caught some balls, which was really nice.
And he did. And it's shocking that he even got as much reps as he did, because this is literally his first practice out there.
Yep.
And just a quick side note, he is unbelievably tall. Seeing him in front of us, he is.
Kyle Rudolph? Yeah, he's my height, like 6'6", 6'7".
He is a monster. But yeah, no, it was definitely good to see him out there. I didn't really watch him too often. I don't even know if he caught a ball, but Caden Smith actually had a couple nice reps.
Well, the thing is, the Giants tight ends, particularly Caden Smith and I think Hicatini was out there.
Hicatini caught the best player.
Hicatini was cut.
Nope, never mind.
Was it? Then it wasn't Hicatini. Who was it?
What number?
Somebody else is wearing 47, and we don't know who it is.
Somebody took the number then.
That's Nakia Stewart Griffin, I think.
Jeez.
I had no idea.
Hicatini was 48.
He was.
Bryson John was 44. Oh, you know what? I think it's Hausman, the guy they got. Remember the guy they signed from Ohio State?
There you go.
Was it?
There you go.
Because that was the nicest play.
Because the tight end room is thin.
Thin. But that was the nicest play of the day. It was, I guess they were on the 15 going in.
Yeah, red zone.
And Daniel threw a beautiful like fade to the corner of the end zone and tiptoe catch. It was by far the best play.
Yeah, it was best
by
play.
Far.
Best play of the day plus best throw of the day.
Yes.
And why Caden Smith got a lot of work is just because the Giants and Daniel Jones, they could not push the ball down the field.
It's very concerning.
There was a few slant and goes to Darius Slayton thrown in there where Jones actually threw between two defenders, and it was a Patriot defender tried to tip it, and it was like one of those Odell Beckham Jr. slant routes, and
that's all they could run.
But that was really the only play that they were able to push the ball down the field, because it's either, we're looking at that play and Daniel Jones takes a sack, he takes off and he runs, or he just has to check it down to Caden Smith, who's just running in the flat.
Who's just right out there. Yeah.
Are they calling sacks dead?
No, they're letting them play. But that's why I'm a little upset about what happened today, or what I'm seeing at least.
I like that Cleveland does that.
So do I. They let them play. They let the play run out. But the thing is, they're still not throwing it down the field. Like, even when I don't even care if it's a sack, at least show that you're getting open down the field and Daniel could throw the ball down there. They're not even doing that. And that's what really started to bother me as practice moved on. And Daniel started off really bad. He was forcing passes in because, the route combinations were awful, but whatever. We'll get into that another. You guys will get into that another time. But it was just so. But he got over the course of team. He got better. I think he ended pretty strong. They had a nice final drive.
Yeah, they ended relatively strong.
Let me ask you. They talked about like him finishing off with touchdowns. Were those in 7-on-7 or 11-on-11?
No, I was 11-on-11.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I always see like, oh, he had so many touchdowns. I'm like, was it 7-on-7 or 1-on-1 drills like that? You know, because like that's when you're supposed to get those. But
yeah, no, it was 11-on-11. They scored three straight plays. I think it was two a run,
it was
an
two,
inside handoff, and then two.
Two straight plays because one went to that tight end, and then
that was okay.
One
Yes,
was to
yes, you're right.
Shepard,
Yes,
I don't know what the flag was, but I'm counting.
No, it was holding on. It was holding on defense.
All right, then
Shepard. Yeah,
Shepard also caught a touchdown in the
which was it was kind of the same play.
Back corner of the end zone, right side. Yeah.
Someone asked Lorenzo Carter, did he practice?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He's a big boy too.
He's big.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He didn't really like flash anything. Honestly, the defense. I was saying to you because you said I'm not concerned moving forward. The defense kind of got lit up a little bit today.
How Mac Jones they're like saying he was like 33 of 35 or whatever.
Yeah, man, he was torching.
He was slinging it.
He was slinging it all around. Bradbury was getting beat inside. He was getting beat outside. I mean,
Bradbury, really?
Yeah,
makes me feel a little better because it's like, okay, that's fake.
You know,
right? Exactly. He may have dogged it today. Whatever.
You know, and also here's an observation I was trying to look at that I'll pay more attention to tomorrow. Is throughout the preseason, you can't take schematic notes throughout the preseason because you have different players out there.
Yeah.
The scheme isn't as advanced. But a conversation that we have been having throughout this offseason is what kind of defense is Patrick Graham going to run this year? Is it going to be a zone defense again, more man, where you're going to be blitzing? They actually didn't blitz a lot, that's a note.
They did not.
Blake Martinez did get back there for a sack, at least from what I saw.
And Pepper's got in there too. He would have had a sack. That was a Mac Jones 30-yard pass.
So I didn't think that they were running anything, luxurious stunts or whatnot. So
they played a lot of man too.
Take that with a grain of salt. Well, I thought they're playing very soft.
Yeah, well,
because when guys were open, they were wide open. So
they weren't
it's not like guys were on top of each other. And there was a lot of 50-50 plays too, where like Sam Beal actually made a really nice effort on a wide receiver that was like on the left sideline. He dives for the ball, but he scoops it up and he makes the catch. So there was a lot of like 50-50 balls too that cornerbacks, I feel like they made good efforts on, but Patriots receivers were coming down with them.
They came down with everything. And even they had a very nice day. And even the Adoree Jackson, Darnay Holmes play when Adoree got hurt, that was kind of a 50-50 ball too. They did get beat, but there was still a play to be made, and it just didn't happen. There's not, they stay away from the contact, so you never know what it's like. And there was a couple plays like that too. The Patriots had over the middle. They were running slants that the receiver could have got lit up and the ball's on the ground.
Yeah, Logan Ryan
yeah.
had one where in game you're lighting a dude up and you're not necessarily going for the ball. You don't want to do that during practice. And he pulls up because he doesn't want to break a finger.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for that too. And also you have to think about this. Yeah, like Mac Jones had a crap ton of completions in a row, but maybe that's something to do with if you're running 2-minute offense and you don't want to allow a big play.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. Yeah.
But overall, not just making excuses, they kind of did offense and defense. Certainly we're hoping that they have a better practice tomorrow. That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, that's a very nice way to put it. And you're lucky you said it first. And I didn't say it, but yeah, there was bright spots here and there. I think the best bright spot obviously is the offensive line. That's the biggest worry. Defensively, I can't be too worried about today because I know that unit's going to be good regardless.
I'm most worried about Adoree Jackson. I mean, that's the biggest worry.
That's the worry. Correct. But no, it was whatever. Let's hope they have a little bit more fire under their belts tomorrow.
Jonathan Cooper asked, I heard a lot of his completions were to James White, so dump offs, and some Giants defenders were mad they weren't whistling plays dead when they got pressure.
Yeah, I get you. There's plenty of those in there. A lot of James White receptions, but there were a lot of receptions over the middle and deep.
They were just completing passes.
Yeah,
they were completing passes.
Yeah, most of it looked very easy. So there were definitely a few plays that should have been called dead. So that is definitely a point that should be made. But
anything like from Joe Judge specifically that you guys want to talk about?
He's a yeller. He is definitely a yeller.
He didn't eviscerate anybody where it wasn't like he destroyed somebody. Oh, here's something with Sills.
You could definitely hear his voice though.
This is before you came over.
Oh,
so he was primarily standing with special teams a lot, before, like towards the beginning of practice. But then once individual drills started to get underway, he was with the wide receivers a lot because he's also very big on ball security.
Yep.
So as soon as those guys they run a little wheel route, they run a little slant, quarterbacks will throw the ball, they get their timing down, whatnot. And there's coaches that are yelling as soon as they catch the ball, 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands, because they want them to practice that repetition of catching the ball and then getting a grip on it so you have 2 hands on it, which, it's actually more of a complicated process than you would think as I was watching it. Like, it's not just catching the ball and putting it up. They wanted them to have 2 hands on it as they're kind of running through. So Judge, every single time David Sills in particular, would kind of run through, and I know he
loves this guy.
He's everybody's darling right now. Yeah. And he was talking to him every single time, whether it was a critique, and obviously I can't hear exactly what he's saying, whether it was a critique or whether it was just a pointer here and there. And he wasn't doing that for everybody, but Sills, every time that he caught a ball and he kind of ran by and, 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands, Judge had like a note for him, which, at least reading between the lines, usually when coaches are talking to a player so much, means that they are kind of like invested in them, that they are, don't want to just let him go to the wayside. And so maybe he's like a fringe guy, or that's why he's being coached up so much.
Pushing him a little bit. And he also spoke glowing about him, last week?
Yeah.
When he was like traveling with Daniel all the time. He does whatever.
Yeah.
He does whatever we ask, and he does it 100%, blah, blah, blah. So that definitely makes sense to me. He also, my favorite Judge moment of the day besides
on the hill.
On the hill. I forget who it was, but when they were doing teams, somebody ran off the sideline late. They hiked the ball, and the refs threw a flag. Forgot about that. And he went right over to him. After the play, he went right to the sideline. He wasn't screaming, but you could see he was in his face like this, like he was doing hand motions and everything like that. That was my favorite Judge moment of the day.
And I was at the Shermer and McAdoo camps, and it's tough, and I don't want to make any wild inferences based off of this, because I wasn't next to them like we were today. Like, we were right there. We were right on the field. But there seemed to be a different energy with
it's intense. It's intense.
Where it is intense. It was also, we said it as a joke in the beginning, but a major note of this practice, it was hot as hell.
It was really hot.
It was hot. It wasn't just fan fest hot. It was, we're starting to sweat through the sweat that's already on our arms. And when your arms start sweating, and when your arms start dripping, it's more than just the head and the face.
I'm a little guy. I don't sweat much.
I
sweated profusely out there.
Yeah, it was. We were cooking.
I can't imagine how they felt.
There was some I don't want to dox anybody, but there was some linemen that needed that needed some water, needed a towel, needed a second. I mean, it was hot, and those guys got pushed today. So that was at least good. And you liked how they ran after practice.
Oh, I loved it. I wanted them to run more. I thought they were done too soon.
90 degrees there right now.
Bobby,
feels like 93, humidity of 45%. I just want to compare. I want to see if I could be a Florida hardo and be like,
well, it's actually not as hot as here.
That's what he's gonna do.
90 degrees here. 67% humidity. Feels like 100. Oh, you guys are soft. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just kidding.
Look at these two. Just so cute, huh? All right, Bike Knight, thank you for the super chat. He asks, how did Brightwell look? Heard he had reps with first team.
I actually wrote in my notes that he didn't look too bad, and he's got nice hands. He caught everything that came to him.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, it's very surprising. He ran a couple very nice routes. I thought Brightwell looked pretty good. Booker had a bad day. He had a bad day. Yeah, he dropped like 3 passes when he was going up against Kyle Van Noy. He had separation from him when they were doing the individuals. He dropped like 3 passes. I know you were doing your tweet and your video, and so I was really trying to get it. And I
was doing 7-on-7s, right?
Yes,
because I was watching the old
line.
Yes,
on 7-on-7s, and I looked because I tweeted out on Sunday that I liked Devontae Booker, and then I was watching him, and I'm like, "Geez, man, you're making me look stupid." But I'm not concerned about that.
That must have been why Clement and Brightwell were getting.
That's probably why. That's probably why. And now it makes sense.
Yeah. Justin, I wanted to ask you, could you read the ad?
Yes, I can. So we are here in Foxboro, Massachusetts, because Manscaped sent us here. You see the promo code that is right above my head. If you use the promo code Giants, you get 20% off all your order, and you get free shipping, which I think is a really, really good deal. I actually brought some products with me to Massachusetts because I don't know, Snacks. I mean, after this show, like today, I don't know what we're gonna do. Are we gonna meet some ladies?
I think so. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we do that.
So maybe before we go, I have the Lawnmower 3.0. Boo. Because the Lawnmower 4.0 is out and it is kind of brand new and it's kind of brand spanking new. It's kind of really good. Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. This is nice little friendly light, high powered motor. There's even an extra, what do you call this?
Blade.
Well, there's an extra blade in there so you can get various lengths for whatever you want your bush to look like. So Manscaped, they are the leaders in below the waist grooming. They sent us here to Foxboro, Massachusetts. And also after you're done kind of shaving, you got a little ball deodorant with the crop preserver. And I also have that. So after I'm done, or even, I may have shaved you before I got here, and I'm going to even just freshen up when we go out on the town tonight. So thank you to Manscaped for sending us here. This trip would not be possible without them. Go to manscaped.com, buy some products, buy everything you see, and use promo code Giants for 20% off and free shipping. That's manscaped.com, promo code Giants, 20% off and free shipping. Thank you again to Manscaped.
Well said.
Feel like, Bobby, you're muted, bud.
Ah, crap. That screws it up. So you see you got the Manscaped thing in the corner. I'm going to go through all of our streaming overlays since I was looking at it. That's when we ran for president. That's Dickie V. That's the ultimate Florida man right there. Lebowski. This is Kadarius Toney.
Sure.
That's Tony Hawk. Tony Soprano. Tony Stewart. Tony the Tiger. Tony Montana. And then the last one, Snacks, was us taking a pee live on this very channel.
Wait, I can't see it. Can you pull that one back?
Hold on.
I don't like how you described it as pee.
That's good.
I didn't really enjoy
I totally forgot about the pee on there. That was good.
Yeah, it was good. But thank you to Manscaped for sending these cats there.
Yeah.
All right, we got some questions. We'll go into them. Got some super chats, so we'll do those ones first. Bernardo BKS, my man, Bernardo. Did you guys feel Patriots play calling was more aggressive / better than Garrett's, or getting guys open schematically, or was it just better execution?
I mean, I think it probably a little bit of both. I still thought that Garrett's play calling, and especially what we saw, was very vanilla and most of the same things we saw last year. So that's pretty concerning. The Patriots play calling, I don't know if it was so egregiously different and better or more aggressive. But yeah, execution is probably more so than what the play calling was. Yeah,
that's probably where we're at. I also don't know, this is another note, now that we know what to keep an eye out for. It's been like 700 some days since I've been out of practice. So, I don't think I was that rusty, but now we have some notes to look out for tomorrow. So I guess route concepts, where guys are running down the field. Is it Jones that's kind of missing them? Is it Jones not stepping up at the pocket? Is it Jones not seeing things? That's maybe a possibility. I'd like to think that it's not. And what kind of defense are the Giants playing? Is it situational because they were running 2-minute drill stuff, and that's why they were allowing things to? That's how they kind of went last year. The bend but don't break mentality of allowing completions, but making the tackle and coming up and preventing the yards after the catch. So was that the approach today in practice? Because obviously you look at the QB rating of Mac Jones and you look at the completions and attempts, and it looks really good. But is that kind of planned? I would like to say today's practice, I'm not going to go that far to say that was the plan, because the Patriots did have their way. But we're going to we'll look out for that also tomorrow too, in terms of the schematic stuff as well.
Can I get conspiracy theory on you guys real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm all for it.
So these coaches' plans, like practices, are very planned. Like it's not like let's go out there and call plays. Like it's very much like we're running this play, then that play, then that play. And then last week, so if the Giants go out and like dominate tomorrow, I'm almost gonna believe that it's like the coaches almost plan like, all right, we're gonna like play to your guys' strengths this day, and then to your guys' strengths the next day. Like I almost, because these guys plan at an unreal like level. Like it's unheard of, like the things these guys do and the mind games they play with their own players.
Yeah.
But we'll see, because like Mac Jones just tearing up our defense like that doesn't make sense.
And that's exactly what we were saying too, and that's why Justin said he's not concerned moving forward, because we obviously know the defense is the strength of this team, especially the secondary. So a rookie quarterback going in there with, no offense to the Patriots, not really the greatest weapons in the world. I could definitely see that happening. Like you said, Justin, situationally, it could be different. They're playing loose or whatnot. I hope tomorrow they kind of ramp it up a little bit and it's more of an actual game type, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Mr. Brownstone talking Giants versus the world. Good luck with the ladies. Might need earplugs for the Boston though.
He's not wrong. Mr. Brownstone's not wrong. And I tell you, he don't miss either.
No.
Mr. Brownstone don't miss.
Glock Roach, thank you for the note. He said, why did they put in when Adoree came out? Oh, who? I was like, who did they put in when Adoree came out? That's actually a really good question.
Great question. I didn't see.
I did not see.
See.
That's actually been on us.
Here, guys, we're about to give someone some shine on this show that usually wouldn't get it. Thank you to the chat for redirecting me.
Are we about to pull up a tweet of somebody that maybe
Pat Leonard of the New York Daily News. Update on Giants cornerback Adoree Jackson. I'm told his ankle injury doesn't look bad. He hasn't been ruled out of tomorrow's practice for Patriots. That would be a relief.
Wait, come on.
He was walking all right.
Well, that's what we were saying. Yeah, but
Ian Rappaport already said it's a sprained ankle. So if he has a sprained ankle, like he will not be practicing tomorrow.
I mean, it's very brave and courageous of him to even think that it's a possibility, but I hope he does not practice tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think that might be whoever's feeding that information to Pat Leonard. Like, so here's why that I'm also not like excited by that either. Like, I didn't panic at it, but I'm not excited by that. Is the Giants lie? They are liars, and I'm not mad at them for that. Like, you should lie, but like they said, Kadarius Toney was asymptomatic to COVID. Clearly not. Clearly, he's not asymptomatic because it is taking him like they tried to ramp him back up, and he had serious issues. So they lied about that. They, even if you want to go back to Daniel Jones lying about staying in the pocket. So I don't believe that. I will watch this and see how it plays out. I'll believe Adoree Jackson is going to be back on the field when he's out on the field.
I agree.
And he said obrigado, which is thank you in Portuguese. You want to know how I know that?
No.
This one of a friend acquaintance. I have some friends who are Portuguese, and so he was asking them some phrases, and they told him obrigado first, and he literally would just say obrigado all day long for not even for like a day or two. Like you get a word stuck in your head. We'd see him like a year and like obrigado. It's like, dude, stop saying obrigado.
You had a note on Xavier McKinney when he was doing some individual stuff.
Oh, yes. Individually, yes. He looked smooth as a Milky Way. I have not seen feet move that fast in my life. He was catching the ball with ease when he was backpedaling coming in. He looked fast, aggressive, quick, very athletic. That's probably something I want to watch more tomorrow because he looked really good from what I saw right in front of my face.
And a lot of people have been kind of wondering, including, we recorded his PPP. It'll come out this week. I believe McKinney's a Thursday PPP. And what's today? Wednesday? Tomorrow.
Yes.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yes,
right,
it's coming out tomorrow.
Right. McKinney's PPP is coming out tomorrow. So that was one of the things that we said in that PPP. It's like, well, who is this dude? What is he exactly going to do? What role is he going to play, and what role is he going to serve for this Giants team? So a lot of people have been wondering how McKinney's been looking, and we really haven't heard a lot of reports out of camp in terms of his progression and what he's been doing and et cetera, et cetera. So that was really good that you saw him.
I was excited to see. I was excited to see that. Yeah, because everything, there was a couple of those guys. I think I wrote whoever the number 34 was, and I know
Grant Haley. No, not Grant Haley.
Grant Haley.
Sam Beal.
Just atrocious looking. I know Xavier McKinney's a high second round pick and whatnot, and he should be looking better. But he honestly, watching the individuals, looked by far the best, the most smooth, the quickest, everything. So that was very cool to see.
There you go.
Okay, so I know we're trying to stick on the Giants, but I just need to say this. If I was Art Stapleton right now, I would be livid because he's starting his podcast like All In. Sure. The New York Giants have tweeted out, we've launched the All In NYG podcast to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Super Bowl 46.
Oh my God.
That's brutal. I would be like, I would go on a rampage tomorrow at practice about the Giants. Like, you guys serious? Tough. We serious right now with this?
I just got the YouTube notification.
That's tough because it's funny because at FanFest when Art came by, he was telling us about the All In podcast.
I have some flyers.
He gave us some flyers. Yeah. Oh man.
All right, so we'll go through some questions here.
Sorry, Art.
Oh my God, I would be lit. Like Justin knows me. The stuff that gets me mad, I would be livid right now. I would be losing my mind in anger.
Are you kidding me?
Let's see.
What do we got?
What do we got? People don't really ask us questions a ton because like we don't always answer them. But ask us questions. Was Mike Glennon looking good? Josh Solomon asks.
No.
His neck is longer in person than it is on TV. If you were wondering that,
it is meme worthy. So,
Blue City Empire Sports says NFL just said that Teddy Bridgewater is the starter QB1 for Denver. What do you guys think about that? I've went back and forth on who I wanted to be the starter, but I feel like I would say I'd rather lock week 1.
That's what we said too. Yeah, just because he's an enigma and he could easily throw 4 interceptions. Teddy Bridgewater is going to protect the ball a lot better and make fewer mistakes. So Locke is a guy I felt at least week 1 would have been the better fit for us. But
Teddy Bridgewater is like probably a little more mobile Alex Smith.
Yeah, he's very much a game manager. So like
I guess he'll say actually no. Alex Smith was way better than Teddy Bridgewater.
Absolutely. I don't fear Denver's
last year's Alex Smith is what I view Bridgewater as.
Okay, that's very fair. I don't see Denver's offense putting up a ton of points against us with Teddy Bridgewater under center. Whereas Locke, he could luck into a 50-yard bomb that might.
Oh yeah, Locke can toss it a little bit.
Right, it could be a back-breaking play later in a game. So, kind of indifferent on it, but whatever.
Trivia, because I was just looking at this today. What do you think? And give me you can do like a number range of 3. What do you think is the most touchdown passes Teddy Bridgewater has had in a season?
In a season.
So you can if you think it's 24, you can say 23 to 25 or something like that. Or if you think it's 6, you can say 5 to 7.
You can go first.
18 to 22.
I was going to say 18 to 21.
Yeah, but Justin added 22. 15. And it was last year. That was the most touchdowns he had. He's just not very good,
No, he's not.
Let's see.
Also, tell us what you want to see tomorrow, because I think Snacks, what we're going to do, maybe Snacks loves his notebook and he loves to write things down. So what we'll do tonight is we will make some notes about what we're going to watch out for tomorrow. So leave us some suggestions on stuff that you want to watch out for tomorrow too. So as Snacks gets up and gets his pen.
You think Emmanuel asks, you think the slow practice today was because the starters haven't played since Thursday? That actually could have a little bit to do with it. I'm not going to say,
they were you guys were there.
Though. Huh?
The starters were out there a lot, though.
No, but what he's saying is that, because we played on Sunday, this is the first time they practiced since then, where the Patriots didn't play on Sunday. So they've had practices before today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely could be, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow if they ramp it up a little bit.
I mean, we'll get maybe even, when we have, are we going to announce what beat reporter we're having on the show on Friday, Bobby?
Yeah, you can just say Zach Rosenblatt's coming on the show.
Zach Rosenblatt. So when we have Zach Rosenblatt on the show, maybe depending on how tomorrow's practice goes, we'll ask, maybe compare the performance that the Giants had against the Browns last week and the Pats this week, because the Giants apparently started off pretty slow the first day against the Browns too, and then the second day they picked it up. And the preseason game, the offense looked a little bit better, and obviously, this game, in MetLife Stadium this Sunday, we're going to see all the starters for at least the ones that aren't hurt. We're going to see them for an entire half, which is really, really exciting. Here's a storyline. We totally glanced over this and forgot about this. This is something maybe to kind of, I don't want to wrap up necessarily, but Saquon Barkley, not here today, personal matter, but tomorrow he's going to be participating in live drills.
So they said he's going to be in a red jersey, though.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
To see him out there.
It should be very exciting, yeah.
That's the biggest storyline to look out for tomorrow.
Judge did say he's going to need to see live tackling drills before, so I don't think that means preseason on Sunday by any means. I've already just come to the fact that he's not, but he does. And Joe Judge went into details. You can't just throw someone out there. He's you got to be ready for it. It's mental. There's a mental side of it. So I was glad.
You said the same thing on the show.
Yep, I was glad, and Joe Judge just once again saying I was right. Part of me was really thinking he was going to say something about a gas station in his presser today.
Rooting for it.
We were really nudging him, do it. Come on, do it.
It's tough. It's tough because we're putting out episodes every day. We're putting out, 2 YouTube videos on the channel every day.
But we were tweeting and Instagram. I put an Instagram story and on a tweet, and I know who sees that stuff, or somebody, people close to him sees that stuff. And I was really come on, do it. You won't. But I think because we said it, he won't do it.
You won't.
Carter Coughlin. Anything from Carter Coughlin today?
Kind of quiet.
Yeah, nothing really that stuck out.
Kind of quiet. Not really getting first team. I don't want to say significantly like he wasn't getting first team reps.
I don't think anyone expected him to get them anyways.
He's getting second team reps. He had some pass rushing moves from the inside. Lorenzo Carter, also another note. Lorenzo Carter was lining up as an inside linebacker, pass rushing too, as well. And it wasn't even like it was a NASCAR formation or anything like that. I'm still waiting for them to bring that back. I think that dream is going to die. But
you have to call the NASCAR Busch Series because we don't have those type of guys.
I know.
They're a lot slower cars than we did back then.
the Busch Series, old Xfinity. So Lorenzo Carter was lining up as an inside linebacker, going in and blitzing a little bit too, which he did that. He did that last year a little bit before he got hurt, and it was nice to see again because I think he does have the skill set to do that. And I think we talk about his PPPs coming out in an hour. So, he was doing that, and Carter Coughlin relatively quiet. Nothing, no splashy plays that he made today.
Again, all over the defense, there wasn't anything that really stood out. So.
Okay. You are gay. LOL. How's the run blocking look?
Thought run blocking was actually better than
the pass blocking.
And throwing the ball.
Yes. There was a couple nice holes that the running backs broke through on. That wouldn't have been like tackles. Like they actually were getting 8-9 yards a clip. Because I know in these practices, like if you like touch them, they blow it dead. But no, there was a couple very nice plays, especially
good to hear because running the ball on the inside in practice is impossible. Then when you run on the outside, it's like Cleveland. It's like, wow, nice big run there. It's like, well, yeah, it's like they just kind of let him go out on the edge and didn't tackle him.
Yeah, and it was nice to see a couple of those inside runs in the red zone. So,
Glock Roach, scream, shake, and bake at Graham/Judge tomorrow. 1, yes. 2, did you guys do any yelling? Because I know it's a fine line of like being there and doing stuff and not being like making a total fool out of yourself.
Yeah, because also you've got to think about it. Like we're in New England too. The Giants players were on our sideline though, so that was a plus. So it's not like we're yelling all the way across the field. I tried yelling for Sandro a couple times. Didn't turn around.
He's too business-like. I mean, we know that for a fact how business-like he is. What about Nick? Did you see Nick at all?
He was in front of us, but I was going to yell, hey Nick, talking Giants versus the world. But he was overheating and he was getting like a towel.
Okay. Yeah.
I will say though,
I wasn't going to yell at him.
Towards the end, there were like some kids and a couple guys, a couple rows in front of us.
Lorenzo Carter was out there
that were yelling at the players and they were responding. So maybe tomorrow it is. And also, like I was tweeted at and you were tweeted at that we're going to get kicked out. We're going to get arrested. I really don't want to do that. Okay.
Yes, I know. It's
I really don't. Trust me. If I
good today.
I was very good today. I was very into the practice. I was really trying to find little nuances that I wanted to talk about. I mean, if I had a couple drinks, then it's a different story.
At FanFest, he was looking at just individual drills of these guys walking around. I mean, this was a practice. This was a legitimate.
Yeah, it's not the environment to be like crazy fan at.
FanFest was not a practice. That was just a walkthrough with 5 minutes of.
Yeah, it was a party.
So. And then you're at FanFest saying it's gonna be a long season.
I was so pissed.
I'm patting you on the back.
There was one incomplete pass that set me off.
You were good today.
I was good today, and I will be good tomorrow. That is, I really, like Bobby said, it's not the environment to do it in. We're not in our home building. Whatever. I'm not trying. We're very close. One of those guys gets pissed off. They're hopping that barrier and beating the crap out of me. And I can't afford that right now. So.
No, you can't.
How about you guys get arrested just not there? Like get arrested somewhere in Boston.
See, now that's very possible.
How's Boston in general? Is it just like
I'm gonna wear my Yankee shirt out tonight, so maybe that starts ruffling some feathers. Because the Patriots fans shouldn't hate the Giants. I mean, we beat you twice, but
Patriots fans should hate the Giants.
Well, let me know how that goes because I don't, like I remember like in like the early 2000s is like you don't wear the other team's stuff around there. You'll get like legit like they'll kill you. Well, now I almost think it's like when I was walking around the Bronx, I was like, if I was wearing a Red Sox thing right now, I bet you no one would say a single word. Yeah, I feel like none of these people even care about the Yankees.
It's definitely a little different now. There was also a ton of Giants fans there. Every Patriot fan that we kind of interacted with was very nice.
Very nice.
Very, very nice.
How did the picture go? Did you ask like, hey, can you take a picture of us holding this Manscaped flag?
Well, here's how that went.
I was very interested in that.
Somebody came up and asked us a question of hey, can you bring water into?
Can you bring a cooler in?
Can you bring a cooler? Can you bring water into the practice? And I said, yes, you can, because I heard somebody say that, yeah, you can bring water in. So then I used that opportunity to say, excuse me, can you also just take a picture of us? We're on a trip and it's sponsored and we just need to take.
And he was pumped to do it.
And he was like, yeah.
Did you meet it? That's cool. Did you meet any of our people? Because I felt like some said they were going to come out.
Yes, at the end there was a few. I would probably say
our guy Chris, he kind of sat with us and stood with us, and we were talking about. Chris was paying attention,
and he was. I know, and he videotaped the reaction.
The reaction video. Chris, our buddy Chris, he videotaped that. So shout out to you, Chris, if you're watching this. And also, we actually had some Patriots fans recognize Talking Giants.
Yeah.
They said,
well, here, look, John Mercer. I was there early. 2 Giants fans next to me were having fun, waving to players, and the players are cool. I'm a Pats fan, and nobody cares or says anything anymore to other fans. It's laid back.
Yeah,
it was cool. My favorite interaction probably was there were 2 young kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna watch it later. He says he watches everything. The mom was very excited. I think I'm pretty sure his name was Liam. Him and his brother took a picture with Justin. It was very cool.
Was it Liam Sheehan?
No, Liam Sheehan's older.
I was gonna say because Liam's the golf guy. He's one of my favorite listeners.
I love
Liam. The Liam that we met today he's probably like 10. Yeah, maybe whatever the case. Very appreciative. And then there was a guy, I forget his name, and I feel bad now. At the end, he was wearing
had a Giants jersey and a Yankees hat on.
Yes, him. And then there was a guy wearing the Danny Dime shirt.
We had somebody wearing a Danny
Talking
Dime
Giants,
shirt.
Danny Dime shirt.
Our first shirt.
We had them before anyone else, and then Barstool made them like a week after.
He did it.
I asked him. I said, "Is that ours or Barstool's?" And he said, "It's ours." And I'm like, "Yeah, there you go."
So Justin gave out a bunch of stickers, so we should probably be seeing them tomorrow. Overall, very cool. Yeah, there was a lot of people. You guys have a podcast because we were in the bleachers, and Justin in his loud voice, he's yelling, amplifying himself. And there's people like watching. They're coming up, yo, you do a podcast? That's awesome. That's awesome. Blah, blah.
We gave somebody tips on how to start a podcast.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Very interactive. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. Oh, we got Ruben in. Big hugs from Spain legends. Which Ruben, I've been meaning to text you. I'm going to text you right now.
Ruben
Ojulari is looking good.
He was there. He was in there situationally today. Again, no edge rushers really made a lot of noise today. The only guy that I really saw back there was Blake Martinez and Jabril Peppers.
Jabril came in
so I guess those kind of scheme-driven blitzes, which hey, we're never complaining about that. Edge rushers were a little quiet today. It was mainly O'Shane and Lorenzo Carter, and then there were some times where I was saying, "Where's Aziz? Where's Aziz? Where's Aziz?" Well, Aziz got in there. He had some situational reps in there too. So it was good to see him out there. None of these guys are struggling with injuries. With the edge room, besides Ellerson Smith, obviously, Fetty was out there, Zoe was out there, O'Shane was out there, Aziz is out there, Trent Harris is out there. So all those guys.
Trent Harris is going to make the team.
Trent Harris is going to make the team. Is that what you said?
I think so. He's a versatile linebacker. So, in fact, Ruben, I just texted you. I want him to do a stream next Thursday.
No, what's the other guy's name that we were kind of thinking that may get cut?
Fetty.
Yeah, he actually had 2 very nice plays.
Oh, he did?
He did, yeah. Right, one of which would have been a sack, and the other one was a nice pressure.
He needs it.
Yeah. At this point, he needs everything.
Yeah.
Danny Bostock, I see your chat. We're going to close with that one. But first, Stephen Lilly. Hey, hi, boys. Just arrived. One question. Any update on Ellerson Smith? I'm very excited about him. I don't think he's practicing, right?
No.
Yeah.
He's going to start the season on the pup or something.
Steven, you gave us super chat, so ask another question. We don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll give a Tony update. Tony has been the same thing of he's out there in pads and he's out there in his little
ski mask,
the ski mask, and he's just not running around doing anything. Kenny Galladay is doing what he's always been doing, and he's out there in pads and
standing
and he is catching balls from Daniel Jones, which it was nice to see actually before the practice. I don't care if they're healthy, not healthy, whatever. Daniel Jones, Kyle Rudolph, and Kenny Galladay all having a catch before the practice. That was kind
yes,
of
and the last player to leave the field was Daniel Jones. I'm not just saying that. He was throwing it at the other end, and
Daniel Jones. I swear to good gracious God that it was Daniel Jones.
Yeah. He blasted. I would have never expected that.
Somebody yelled "fuck." Excuse my language. Somebody yelled "fuck" walking off the field. After he was actually somewhat of a nice.
DJ does that all the time. Almost every interception, they show the face of the QB afterwards, and it's always him. He's always got like that weird look up into the jumbotron, and then hits it. Then
I was just gonna say because I know because I was on my phone and I heard it, and I looked up right away, and he did a quick turn to talk to Garrett. So it had to have been him.
Yep. And so he clearly, a lot of fans like to make the excuse, or maybe we're getting a little bit of hate right now saying that the Giants offense didn't look good. If the quarterback is walking off the field to the practice field yelling "fuck,"
he knows it too.
They know it too. So.
All right, we're going to finish off with this, and we will be back tomorrow at the same time, 1:30, talking about the practice. So thank you guys for joining. Make sure to join again tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be even better. As a UK Giants fan, I listen to many Giants pod, and I quickly learned you guys are the best in the business by far. No one puts in the work you guys do, so just wanted to send some appreciation. Well, thank you, Danny Bostock. Snacks, that wasn't directed at you, so just ignore all I just said. But no, seriously. You guys having fun out there? It looks like it's fun. I'm missing out.
It's a very fun time.
This was a good stream. We'll do it again tomorrow at the same time. Then we'll have our regular podcast out on Friday. Snacks will be a part of that. I'm going to pick him to read. He's going to read an ad on that. So
yeah, I'm freaking out, by the way. I'm starting to sweat again.
When Justin asked, I was like, yes, but I was like, he has to read an ad. Like that's the rule.
He has to read an ad.
So all right, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Check out the PPP that comes out in 30 minutes.
Thank you guys. Yeah, and make sure you're following on Twitter tomorrow. A lot of videos and stuff. So
follow at Talking Giants on Twitter, at Justin Penik, and at Snacks_BDGE. So they're putting out a bunch of stuff. I was watching you guys tweet all day, so that was fun. All right, see you guys.